Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Excuse me. Okay, so working on getting rid of this cough. It's almost gone. All right, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves are going to say for us tonight. We have, this is a bonus reading for Taurus, and we have the Lovers as our card. All right, let's see here. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell button. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to like the video or leave a comment, it really does help, I guess, get everything, I don't know, in the algorithm or whatever. Also, I just like to hear from you. I absolutely so look forward to the comments every day. All right. So we have, it looks like, first of all, we have a large A. So it seems like we have an A name maybe in the mix here. And right here, I'm seeing we have a person. Let me get closer. I forget. It looks all blurry. Okay, so we have a person here. It looks like we have a bird. Okay, so I almost wonder raising birds of some kind, chickens, turkeys, ducks. Something maybe, or something along the lines of, outdoor birds. Now we have a person who it looks like they're chasing a bird here. So I'm almost wondering if this is you or, I don't know, maybe like a family, parents, grandparents, some family member, or maybe these are like the in-laws or their parents or whatever. But I feel like there's a sense of being tied to this kind of farming, homesteading, this type of lifestyle. And I feel like maybe that you yourself are, kind of coming around to having an interest and living the same way. Maybe you already are. Maybe this has kind of been your, life's work, is kind of getting into this form of living or sustaining it, right? Maybe you have always lived this way. But I do think that it's something that seems of interest to you. I think that there's been some mishaps, right? It's been not the easiest thing, but it's so funny because look, we have a person standing here who also has a bird on their hand, and I'm going to ever so carefully lift this because I don't want it to move. And then on here we have a person with a bird on their hand. So I feel like it's like this is like a calling for you. This is like and if this is something you've been thinking about, maybe this is your confirmation, right? But it's like the universe keeps putting this in your life, in your mind. And maybe, you're seeing stuff about it online constantly, right? I know it's algorithms that kind of dictate this stuff, but listen, I'm one of those kind of positive, I look at AI, I look at the algorithms in this kind of positive light. Anyways, I'm not so doomy about it, right? In that it is the most accurate mirroring of our shadow, of our psyche. It's hard to look at, right? Sometimes we are on there and we're like, gosh, why am I seeing all this like super whatever stuff, negative or things that I don't seem to relate to, but they kind of really, they like bother me, not in a overt way. Like obviously if it's like a bunch of violence or something like this, yeah, I could see, I don't want to see that stuff. But there often are times where it's like, we see things that that we need to see. And it may be really difficult to see that or hear that. But I feel like the invention of the internet and all the things that have come with that, all the technology, and now I'm not super pro technology either. Let me just tell you, I don't really have a stance aside from this thing that we have access to is something that people in esoteria and magic, the occult, alchemy have been working towards for, since the conception of, the occult, of magic, of esoteria, of alchemy, right? This is all of the information in the world at our fingertips. Now, of course, you have to figure out how to find that information and to spend time to, go over it discerningly. But I do think that it is something that is quite magical. So maybe, this is coming up in your algorithm, and this is kind of, this feeling of going back to your roots. And if they're not directly yours, just maybe collectively going back to a lifestyle. I'm not going to say it's simple living because, I had that perception. Now I live rural, and it's a lot of work. It's absolutely a ton of work. It is not simple life, simple living to be somebody, taking care of. It's a lot, but it's worthwhile. I will say that, and so I think that it's an interesting. We even have a chicken right here. Excuse me. Ooh, a chicken right here. Okay, and I just keep seeing in my mind, like, wanting to get out there, grow some stuff, have the animals, be, I don't know, barefoot out there. Don't go walking barefoot too much out there, but yeah, being close to the earth, being grounded. What was that called? Earthing? Or no, I can't remember there was like a meme about it, like being barefoot in the grass and dirt, and I can't remember what it's called. I remember my sister sent it to me. I'm like, dude, we've been doing that our whole lives. My feet are terrible. I will never show anybody my feet. I mean, obviously my husband and stuff has seen them, but my feet are so tore up just because I just run around barefoot constantly. So, it just, I think there's a lot of us that are drawn back to the earth in a very serious way. So let's see. We also have a person riding a horse. We have a person standing next to the ledge of a cliff, and really kind of gazing out there. Right? Gazing out into the great unknown. I think that you've probably been having some dreams here. We also have the most sacred deer, which doesn't surprise me that deer has been showing up a lot in the readings. So I do feel like there is this sense of maybe some existential questions coming up. Maybe we're at a period of life where you're questioning, maybe how things have gone. Maybe you have, reached some goals and realizing this maybe isn't going to be what sustains me in life. And I need to find something that is, speaks to me. Myself, not kind of these dreams I had when I was a kid and I went to school and I got into the career and all this kind of thing. But what do I need to do now in my life? Because it's kind of feels like this is a check-in point, a time where you're really having a conversation with yourself that's quite serious, right? And I can see you kind of going out there, looking into the abyss, maybe gazing at the stars at night, going for long meandering walks, contemplating, deciding. And we also have a 1 and a 6, a 16. We have a 6 up here. So 6 and another 6 up here. So it seems like 6 is an important number. Definitely. Another one up there. Yeah. Oh, and another one there. So 6 all over the place. All over the place. Okay, let's see. What else? What were we looking at? The horse. Okay, so the horse moving, riding the horse, moving along on the horse, right down here. Okay. And so this is a sign of movement. Okay, making a decision, sticking to it, getting it going. Quite literally, getting on the horse and going, riding on out. So I do feel like this is a time of action, not just contemplation, but action. And, I think that this is something that maybe is exciting for you. I feel like it's just, I just can feel this sense of, I don't know, like it's like waking up from a long nap and stretching and it feels good. And it's like, okay, now I have to meet the day once again, right? Let me get myself going once again. And I do, I feel like this is something, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential. I don't feel like you're afraid of it. No, I think a Taurus person, you're really good at changing and living different lives. Taurus people definitely are among that group of people that have very distinct chapters in your life. And so I do think that this is a time where it's like getting ready for that next thing, that next big thing. Okay, so we also have the moon up there. And I need to take a little drink here. We have the moon, and it looks like a person who's getting shot by an arrow right here. So I do have, moon, arrow going into a person right here. So I feel like, and then we do have the deer. Let's talk about the deer too. A sense of love. Maybe romantic love, maybe like a crush. But I feel like it's really mostly this feeling of a rising belovedness in whatever it is that you are planning on going to do. It's like when you have this kind of faraway dream, I want to live by the ocean. This is an example. Maybe one day, maybe when I retire and the kids are all out of the house, then I can think about doing it. And then, I don't know, things move along and maybe you have retired, or maybe, your life has changed. Maybe you had a separation, or, the kids ended up not going to school. They just, moved out when they were 18 or whatever. And suddenly it's like, it's now or never. I got to figure out how I can make this work. And there's an excitement to it because you've decided. Okay, you're far past just looking on, what is it called, Zillow or whatever, at houses, wherever on the ocean, somewhere, cold, hot, tropical, I don't know. That's up to you. But yeah, you've decided, and now it's like, let's put this in action. Maybe you're even just gonna get a nice little apartment, near the beach, get a little job, and just kind of do your thing quietly. Go about your life quietly, or big. Maybe it's a big thing. Maybe you get like a cool condo and you're going to be having all kinds of parties and dinner parties or whatever. I don't know, but it's like so many possibilities. And maybe it's been quite a while since you thought, I could change my life in a really fundamental way. I could change everything. I could move and I could be pretty much a different person if I really wanted to be. I could live a completely different lifestyle. You know, make up a different nickname for myself. Be somebody different for a time. And that's exciting to think about. Now, most of us just think about it. Taurus people will do it. So I feel like this is a time where you are in love with the movement of this life that you are creating. And I feel like that is where the real fortune and abundance and the great kind of win of this era of your life is. All of the other stuff is details, right? And it really is about just doing something different, doing something that makes you feel so deeply again. Now we have the deer. Okay, so I feel like it's a time of deciding. Like, what are you going to be? What are you going to do? What archetype are you going to live in for this period of your life? And so often I think of the Taurus person as being a great creative, somebody who's really good at like thinking unconventionally and figuring things out, where most people would just give up because it's like, oh, there's not an obvious solution. A Taurus person is really good at just kind of finding a way, right? Making the dang thing happen. I look at the deer and I feel like it's like, it's all together. It's a reinvention, I think. I think that's really what's happening. It's not just a rebirth, but I think it's like this reinvention of self. And I think it's, something that you love to do every once in a while. And I feel like it really it does. It brings a lot of that lifeblood to the mundane for you. Now, we have an owl, we have a turtle, we have a person balancing. Oh, yes, this is the one with the bird, right? The person balancing with the bird. So I think somebody who has transitioned, they have an L name, possibly, sending you messages. And it feels like it could be something with a dog. We have a little dog down here. Something about a dog. We also have the fish. So there is money coming into this situation. I almost feel like sometimes when we make the courageous leap of faith, the universe, our beloved ones, our ancestors, our elders, they will find a way to kind of, universally wire us some money, right? They help you out. And so I feel like that is coming there. Now, the tortoise or the turtle here, it makes me feel like there's a sense of make sure, and this is kind of a message coming through, make sure that you are paying attention to how you feel. Remember how this feels. Do not let it go. Do not forget. Remember the impressions as you go through this change. Remember, the fears, the excitement, the hopes, the realities, and all of that. Keep it stored in your heart. Write it down. Make art with it. Do whatever it is that you do. But don't be too busy, so busy, that you don't notice these things, because they're important. They're just as important as the outcome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the Wild Offering Oracle cards. And these are some of my favorite oracle cards. I love all of the ones that I have, really. I've used quite a few over the last year and a half or however long I've been doing this. And, but these ones, I really like the messages. The art's beautiful, but the messages I really, really like. I'm going to go ahead and stop where it feels right. And it says, being enough. The innermost heart says, you are enough. Nowhere to go, nothing to get, nothing to change, no need to grow, more deserving. You, yes, you are love. Well, see, now this one kind of contradicts the reading, right? But maybe it's not. You know, maybe there is this changing happening in your physical life, but it's like, I don't know, maybe this is kind of a call out to making sure that you are firm in self, that you are in that beloved space with self, in that courtship with self. Don't let it be the only reason that you're changing things, is that you need to feel something differently for yourself, right? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes they are aligned perfectly. Sometimes they're at odds. And I'm like, hey now, what are you doing? But yeah, it's good to think. It's good to think it over, right? What could this mean? All right, Taurus, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you and I thank you for spending this time with me. And it's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel a lot. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. And I thank you for putting up with my voice. I have done, I think this is like my sixth reading tonight. I don't know. Not tonight. I did some earlier today and then I did some tonight. But overall, yeah, I think number 6. So, yeah, I'm going to let the voice rest now. Just still getting over that flu thing. I feel so much better. I just sound terrible. So, it'll come along. It'll be good. All right, Taurus, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.